give up something for something, you know. So I think at the end of the day, the subsidy will have to go. But what we have done now, we know with the government, which I think I must really thank the President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, you know, very creative idea that, okay, fine, you know what, we will sell you the crude in Naira, you also sell in Naira. So now we are working out for the exchange rate. It's going to be price, normal pricing, you know, if crude is at $80, you know, Brent, you know, we will pay that price. We'll use an agreed exchange rate, and then we will also sell in the domestic market. What that will do is that it's going to remove 40% pressure on the Naira. So, because you see, the petroleum products consume about 40% of our foreign exchange. So, you know, and then, you know, it's like you have 40% of demand being taken out. So that can actually stabilize the Naira. That's one. Number two, the government will now know, even if they are going to subsidize, they will know what is the real consumption. Because right now, nobody can tell you what you are consuming. It's all guesswork. You know, so that can help in terms of stabilizing the market. That can also help in terms of removing queues, because we have a lot of queues, and these queues are not there today. They've been on and off since 1972, for the last 52 years.
But so what does it mean in dealing with Naira instead of dollar? What does it mean for your group? Is it a benefit, or actually it just gives the government something that they want?
I think really is to give the government something that they want. It's a win-win, you see, because the issue is that, yes, we are Nigerians, and we have to also do something to show that, yes, we do care. And part of caring is to now agree with the government that, okay, fine, let's go ahead and do this with them, because it will be very awkward for somebody like me or our group to come and say that, no, 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 we want to deal in, you know, dollars. I think it's a win-win, and it will benefit the country quite a lot. The whole thing is actually, okay, fine, what do we leave as a legacy? And I think doing this, by even making sure that, yes, we've taken Nigeria out of an oil, petroleum product import country for the first time in the history of Nigeria, is a great milestone, which, you know, I'm very, very proud about.
So how's the relationship with the government? I know there's a number of negotiations, including the price of gasoline. What kind of offering have you made?
I think we have quite a good relationship, you know, today, you know, with the government. And, you know, where the president actually put the Minister of Finance and also Minister of the Coordination of the Economy, and then the Special Advisor Revenue, you know, very smart guy, Zach Adedeji, you know, and they are working out something which I think it will be a win-win between us and the NNPC. If NNPCs, that is Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, if their refineries, if they start to work, then Nigeria will be one of the biggest exporters of petroleum products in Africa. You know, in Africa, only 2 countries are self-sufficient.
Now, it's important to take note that Dangote Refinery now sells petrol products directly to marketers at open market prices, with the stepping aside of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, as an intermediary or off-taker, as they like to call themselves, paving the way for direct transactions. Now, this development enables petrol marketers to purchase products from Dangote Refinery without third-party involvement. So it is buyer-seller arrangement. Promoting efficiency and competitiveness in the downstream sector. Nigeria, until Dangote's refinery came on stream, was fully dependent on imported petroleum products, despite the fact that we have 3 refineries, moribund, non-functioning. All promises about bringing them to life has not been kept. And Nigeria has been taking tentative or making tentative moves to finally end the nation's pricey fuel subsidy, which is which in 2022, if I remember correctly, cost about $10 billion US. Now, if Dangote Refinery is allowed to roll out these petroleum products into the Nigerian and sub-Saharan African markets on its terms and prices, which for me, I mean, being a journalist with some economic and energy understanding, it creates a totally new market for Nigeria, and of course, gives Nigeria the opportunity to be able to, control market prices and then not necessarily rely on the OPEC quota. So, remember, until Dangote's refinery came on stream, Nigeria was fully dependent on imported products. Now, so it's important that at this point, as it currently stands, Dangote will become the crown prince, of the oil and gas sector, like the Saudi Arabian crown prince that has become, and will dictate who gets what, how, and when, because his 650,000 liter capacity multi-purpose refinery is 4 times bigger than that of the NNPC. Moribund 4 refineries in Port Harcourt, Onne, Warri, and Kaduna. Now, don't forget, before now, we had been promised by this administration that the Port Harcourt, in fact, we were told that as of November last year, 2023, that the Port Harcourt refinery will come on stream. But as you and I speak, nothing has happened. All we hear is it's going to come online. It's going to come online. So, as it stands, the status quo remains as far as Nigeria's 4 refineries in Port Harcourt, Onne, Warri, and Kaduna is concerned. Dangote Refinery has become an albatross and a pain in the neck of those who bought the ENI, Ajip 17 offshore oil wells in readiness to export crude oil, refined it at Malta import, and import it back to Nigeria and collect subsidy payments for their efforts. So basically, what Dangote Refinery has done is frustrate the efforts of the cabal in the oil and gas industry. Now, this is the bane of petroleum product scarcity in Nigeria. Anyway, other suggestions that are in the offering as to the reason NNPC has increased petrol pump prices and quit as the middleman or off-taker, as they like to call themselves, to Dangote, is because of the financial pressures the NNPC has had to face due to high subsidy payments and its role as the only distributor of petrol. Now, since the Dangote refinery began production on September 3rd, 2024, the NNPC has struggled with the logistics of getting petrol to consumers, leading to a big supply shortfall. That is why in almost every 2 to 3 months, there is always fuel scarcity and queues across our great nation. Well, in its first week, the refinery delivered only about 102 million liters of petrol instead of the expected 400 million liters, right? Now, this shortfall forced the NNPC to spend nearly 13 billion naira to keep petrol prices steady at the pump price in the second half of September. So the financial burden had worsened because of changes in foreign exchange rates, which have affected the cost of buying petrol. Now, the NNPC had to sell petrol at a fixed price of 749 naira 99 kobo. That's, let's just say, 750 naira per liter, losing an average of 133 naira on each liter of petrol sold across the country. On October 7th, the NNPC announced it would no longer be the sole distributor of Dangote's petrol, mainly to relieve and revive the financial strain caused by a $6 billion debt to international suppliers. Now, basically, the game has changed as far as petrol supply in the country is concerned. And this change will allow other marketers to buy petrol directly from Dangote refinery at market price. While petrol prices may rise at first, this move could lead to more competition and help stabilize supply in the long run. Now, these are basically projections. I am not a industry expert per se. I am just, how do they say, applying common sense to the matter, looking at the figures and looking at the realities on ground. Anyway, reacting to the NNPCL's latest increase in the pump price of petrol, the Nigerian Labour Congress, yes, NLC, has condemned the recent nationwide increase in the price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol. Now, the union is demanding an immediate rollback of the hike, accusing the government of prioritizing fuel prices increase above all else. Well, if we pause for a minute, we could agree with the NNPC to a certain extent. But as it concerns the pump price of petrol as it is, the maths just doesn't add up. And there is a need for us to rework the arithmetic again. And in the bid to rework this arithmetic, we must do a little to the left and a little to the right. Sadly, it is we Nigerians that have to pay the price for this new dance of a little to the left and a little to the right. Well, in a statement issued on Wednesday and signed by its president, Joe Ajaero, the LLC called on the government to clarify its intended direction for the country. Now, Ajaero also criticized the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for its role in the price increase. In the same voice, organized labor counterpart, the Nigerian Trade Union Congress, TUC, on Thursday stated that granting a special forex exchange, FX, intervention is the only solution to addressing the high cost of petroleum products, particularly premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as petrol in Nigeria. Now, the TUC also identified the removal of fuel subsidy and the devaluation of the naira as the root cause of the rising cost of living and economic hardship across the country. The devaluation has made the naira one of the weakest currencies in the world. Remember, I told you earlier that, the naira has been about 70 to 75% of the naira has been devalued. Now, speaking to journalists in Abuja, TUC President Comrade Festus Osifo explained that while the fuel subsidy was removed following President Bola Tinubu's May 29, 2023 announcement, the high exchange rate has effectively brought the subsidy back. He emphasized that three key elements, accessibility, availability, and affordability, are crucial for ensuring energy security in Nigeria. Now, Osifo also urged the government to expedite all necessary support and approvals for Dangote refinery to ramp up production to at least 40 million liters per day. He explained that although crude oil is sold to Dangote refinery in naira, it is priced in dollars, as crude is an international trade commodity. Hence, converting the value of crude from dollars to naira is also necessary, which affects the final cost of petrol. Remember, I did say plenty of arithmetics has to be done in this current situation in which we find ourselves. Meanwhile, the national leadership of the Emerging Leaders Forum of Nigeria, ELFON, had an emergency meeting concerning the recent increment in fuel pump price. Now, speaking to the media, the national president of Emerging Leaders, God's Time, Chukwubu Ikem Samuel, stated that it is obvious that a cabal in the petroleum sector is hell-bent on ridiculing President Bola Tinubu's administration by insisting on manners of hardship on Nigerians. Don't forget, even Dangote himself has said that the cabal in the oil and gas sector is more powerful than that in the drug illicit drug business. Well, God's time, who showcased a high level of worry over why President Tinubu has refused to sack the GMD of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, said it is time to mobilize Nigerian youths, 50% state and 1,000 from Abuja, to protest the ousting of the GMD of NNPCL. Well, just to remind you that even the civil society group, End Bad Governance Movement, has described the latest increase in petrol prices as provocative, vexatious, and a further slap on the faces of poor and struggling Nigerians. Well, the movement made this known in a statement on Thursday in response to news reports that the National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has commenced full deregulation of the downstream sector by increasing petrol price to between 998 naira per litre in Lagos and 1,030 naira per litre in Abuja and other parts of the country. Did I just hear you say, why is Abuja paying more than Lagos? Well, anyway, some will tell you it is because Abuja is the seat of power. Well, moving ahead, according to them, the latest increase is the second of such in a month, and it is bound to drive the Nigerian people, including workers, youths, artisans, traders, and the mass of the people, into a worse state of starvation and hardship. And in their words, and I quote, "We hereby demand an immediate and unconditional reversal of this hike, as well as the return of petrol prices, electricity tariff, and food prices to pre-May 29, 2023 levels." You could say they are still asking for the impossible. Well, you would recall that early in the month of September 2024, Nigerians tagged protest against the country's continuing fuel crisis and its triple effect on the citizenry and the economy, beyond the continued increase in the pump price of petrol. Africa's most populous nation and one of the world's leading oil producers had been plagued by persistent fuel crisis with no end in sight. Well, in Abuja, a coalition of concerned civil society organizations took to the streets and demanded the government take immediate action to address the issue. This was in September. Let's see what their demands were.
The coalition of concerned civil society organizations of Nigeria stand today with sobriety of hearts, but united in our shared outrage, our collective pain, and our unwavering demand for accountability. We are not just here to protest, we are here to voice the frustration of millions of Nigerians who have been pushed to the brink of failures of one man, Mr. Mele Kyari, the Group Managing Director of Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. Mr. Kyari's tenure has been marked by a dismal scorecard that raises more questions than answers. How can a nation so richly blessed with oil continue to suffer from an acute scarcity of petrol? Why do we, the people, have to endure endless queues, inflated prices, and the daily uncertainty of whether we can fuel our vehicles or power our homes? The answer lies in the gross incompetence and mismanagement that have become the hallmarks of Mr. Kyari's leadership. Importation of adulterated products, petroleum products, a crime against Nigeria under Mr. Kyari's watch. We have witnessed the importation of adulterated petroleum products that have wreaked havoc across the nation. Vehicles have been damaged, businesses disrupted, and lives put at risk, all because of the negligence, or worse, the deliberate sabotage of our nation's lifeblood. How can we trust a man who allows such travesty to happen, who stands by while our economy is crippled by these toxic imports? This is not just an administrative failure. It is crime against the Nigerian people. Fuel scarcity, a perpetuation of suffering. The fuel scarcity we endure today is not just a mere inconvenience. It is calculated perpetuation of suffering under Mr. Kyari's leadership. The situation has gone from bad to worse, with no end in sight. We ask, what has he done to alleviate this crisis? Where are the solutions? Why are our refineries, which should be the backbone of our fuel supply, still in disrepair. It is clear that Mr. Kyari has failed to take the necessary steps to resolve these issues. Instead, he seems intent on maintaining a status quo that benefits only a select few while the masses suffer. Lack of support for local refineries, stifling progress. We must also question Mr. Kyari's commitment to supporting our local refineries. The Dangote refinery, which will be a beacon of hope for our nation, has received little to no support from the NNPCL. Under his leadership, other upcoming refineries that could help break our dependence on imported fuel are also languishing without the necessary backing. Is Mr. Kyari more interested in maintaining the lucrative contracts for fuel importation than in promoting the growth of our local capacity? One has to wonder whose interest is he really serving. An obstacle to the renewed hope agenda. Fellow Nigerians, we are at a critical juncture in our nation's history. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda promises a new beginning for our country, a path to prosperity and security for all Nigerians. But how can we achieve this vision with individuals like Mr. Kyari at the helm of most critical national assets? His actions, or lack thereof, are in direct contradiction to the president's agenda. It is clear that Mr. Kyari cannot be an envoy of this new hope. Instead, he stands as an obstacle, a relic of the old ways that have brought us nothing but pain and despair. Our demands: sanitization of NNPCL. We, the Coalition of Concerned Civil Society of Nigeria's Organization of Nigeria, demand the immediate sanitization of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. We demand the removal of Mr. Mele Kyari from his position as Group Managing Director. The continuous sabotage of government efforts through the importation of adulterated petroleum products and the orchestrated scarcity must stop. Nigeria deserves better. We deserve leaders who will work tirelessly to alleviate our suffering, not those who perpetuate it. Our message to the government: the time to act is now. To President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all those in positions of power, we say this: the time to act is now. Show us that the renewed hope agenda is not just empty rhetoric. Show us that you stand with the people, not with those who profit from our misery. Mr. Kyari must be shown the way out, and the NNPCL must be reformed to serve the interests of all Nigerians. We will not be silenced. We will not be ignored. We will continue to raise our voices until justice is done and our demands are met. It is disgraceful, in Adonjo, let me add, it is disgraceful and shameful that Alhaji Aliko Dangote, a single individual, could build the single largest refinery in the world in less than 8 years. And the NNPCL could not repair or maintain our refineries within 15 years. But several times we have had the postponement of the repair of the refineries. This is the only achievement we have seen from the NNPCL, the postponement of repairing our refineries. This is the only achievement we have, and it is reverse way. It is not an achievement. So we need someone to do better in this position, because there are other competent people who can deliver. There are other competent people who could deliver in the NNPCL, because the suffering comes from the fuel subsidy. You, the media that are listening here and covering this, we know you are part of this suffering. So you must tell the truth and you must stay strong until justice is done for this country. Long live Nigeria, long live the struggle for better future. Thank you. I am Comrade Aminu Abbas, the convener of the Coalition of Concerned Civil Society Organizations.
Nigerians protesting in the month of September against the continued fuel scarcity in the country and its ripple effect on the citizenry and, of course, the economy. Well, if you're just joining us, and if you've been with us right from the very start of the show, just to remind you, this is Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, KORERO. Today, the show is focused on the latest increase in the pump price of petrol as the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, again increased the pump price to 1,030 naira per litre, as was observed in some NNPCL outlets here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and of course in Lagos on Wednesday. The recent development comes after the NNPCL decided to terminate its exclusive purchase agreement with the Dangote refinery. Now, this means that the NNPCL will no longer be the sole off-taker, and marketers can now negotiate prices of petrol directly with the Dangote refinery. In the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, the product was previously sold for 897 naira per litre. In Lagos, fuel, which previously sold for 885 naira per litre, is now being sold at 998 naira per litre amidst long queues. And of course, that price oscillates with different marketers. Well, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL's decision to adjust prices is in response to global market fluctuations resulting in the recent hike in petrol prices. I also want to remind you, at the start of the show, I did say the show will be live and interactive, and at some point we would open our phone lines. But just to also remind you that we are also live and interactive on all our social media platforms, so you can follow developments on the show on the go. Okay, so like I like to say, Rapid on the go. Okay, and we are at official Rapid TV. The studio lines is also live and active as we speak. So the number to call will be on your screen shortly, but the number to call is 0916 771 6035. 0916 771 6035. The number is on the screen, and this is the opportunity you get to be part of the conversation. Of course, we are looking at the recent fuel price increase or fuel price hike that has happened in a spate of 1 month, and of course Nigerians are gradually getting used to the reality of the times in which we find ourselves. So let's hear from you what your take is on this development. Of course, it just happened barely 48 hours, or let's say 48 to 72 hours ago now, and how are you adjusting to this development? Is there light at the end of the tunnel, as Mr. President put it in his Independence Day broadcast on October 1, 2024? Well, while we're waiting for the phone lines to to ring, okay, I think we have our first caller coming through. Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, nice to have you join us. Your name and where you're reaching us from.
Yes, I'm calling from TH. That is too good.
Too good. You're calling from Port Harcourt. How is Port Harcourt this morning?
Because it's calm, it's quiet. Despite the Congress government was on fire last week.
Yeah.
You know what happens.
Yes.
Nevertheless, this NNPC boss, that man did this country with Buhari. I wonder why Tinubu country card if you want them to finish where they finish off the rebellion. So that man is supposed to be hanged somewhere and punish him where because if he's problem man, that man is aware of our problems. That NNPC boss is one of our problems.
Okay.
But nevertheless, and he has no right over Dangote refinery to give price. That was our hope of poor man. Now he carry his while again to put inside that place, which means we are slaves in this country. One man sitting on 2 billion people in this country. It's not too good now. Let him go and rest. And also, I foresee that an NNPC is supposed to be scrapped off. They don't do anything.
Okay.
They can't decide the only refinery. They're putting another refinery on us again. It's not fair now. It's not good.
All right.
Let him go arrest.
Thank you.
Let us cut NNPC out.
Thank you, do good. And just I can feel the tension. Let's just do our best. One, let's trust the institutions of government and governance to take care of persons who have not served us well. Let us not take matters and the law into our own hands. Thank you so much for calling. All right, the numbers to call are 0916-771-6035. Again, 0916-771-6035, and you get to be part of. Of course, we are looking at the recent increase in the pump price of petrol, and what is the current pump price in your location. Let us know. Remember, when you call in, turn down the volume of your device and tell us your name and location so that we will be able to have a clear conversation. We have another caller coming through. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, my very good friend.
Nice to have you join us.
This is your usual Chukwudi from Arakaliki, Urban State Capital.
Thank you, Chukwudi, for being part of the conversation this morning. Chukwudi, what's the pump price in your location?
I bought a little petrol here along Old Enugu Road here in Abakaliki. I bought it at the rate of 1,350.
1,350. Okay.
Yes,
So
one of my neighbors returned yesterday morning and was telling me that he bought his own 1,400.
just 50 naira increase.
Yes.
So Chukwudi, tell me, how are we adjusting to this development?
Let me just say, Nigerians, it is short, petrol hike. People are going a lot, passing a lot here. People are suffering. If you go to our various localities here, you see the abject poverty that has befallen the northern Nigeria. But it pains me a lot that something like this is saying. No any program, or maybe or most from our leaders. At times, it looks as if they are not feeling the heat. They don't know what we are passing through. Nigerians are going through a lot now. Nigerians are dying. But our leaders seem not to, understand what we are saying. But I honestly, let me tell you one thing. I feel, person like me, I've managed my car for the past 1 month. It's just yesterday. I said, okay, let me just go and before yesterday, I said, let me go and warm my car. People are passing through a lot here. Now, if they pay you, I think they are now presenting a 70,000 or 72,000 naira minimum wage. Minimum
wage, yes.
Maybe they are paying someone 100,000. Now, how much is a bag of rice? How much is a bag of water? The one they call pure water, which is not even pure. How much is a bag of that water? How much is... some of us we have many families. We have kids. How are we coping up? Now, tell me why the crime will not be in high...
Yes, high crime rate.
My brother.
Yeah.
My brother, especially when you come to here, go to localities, come and see what is passing through here.
Chukwudi, I relate to all the things you've said, but we must keep hope alive. We must. I think there's a quote I came across recently that says, "As long as there is hope, then hope becomes the strength for life and living." So as long as there's hope, or like the way our people say it, as long as there is life, there is hope. Okay, so thank you so much, Chukwudi, and keep watching Rapid TV.
Great job, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honestly.
Thank you. All right, let's see if we can take one more call before we begin to wrap up today's show. Of course, as you know, time not always our friend when we are discussing matters of importance. We have another call coming through. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, nice to have you join us. Your name and where you're reaching us from.
My name is Shegun. I'm calling you from Lagos.
Wow,
Border
Shegun.
town to Ogun State.
Wow. Shegun, how is Lagos adjacent Ogun State this Friday morning?
In fact, I will not be able to go to work this morning.
Wow.
Because I can't just imagine what I'm going to spend. In my area is 1,450.
1,450 as against 998 naira as suggested by the NNPCL.
Exactly. And the funny part of it, before, from my junction to Akute, it's just 200 naira to our flow. Right now, it's 1,000 naira. The bike will tell you 1,500 naira to go, 500 naira to come back.
That's 3,000 naira.
Get to beggar. Yes. Right? So, and the question is this. Now, the money they are making, that they've said that the money they are going to make, or the subsidy they are going to do this and that, my road is bad. I wish your radio station, your TV station, maybe you have branches in Lagos, tell them to come and cover Akute Road. And this road is federal. Right? Now, I have to park my car because I can't just imagine me go out today again.
Can't afford to fuel it.
You see, my pain is this. This is not the first time I will be calling radio station, TV station, and they will just do as if nothing is happening. It's not maybe they're not hearing, but just give as if nothing is happening. Right? Look what the first lady is saying, that his husband is not the one caused this hardship. When they get there, we know how much we are buying for. We are not cowards in this country. We are not cowards.
Shegun, I can feel your pain, and I can tell you that well over 250 million Nigerians share in that pain as you point out the current realities with you. But know this, they are listening. And even if they act as if they are not listening, at least the world will bear us witness that we all gave our 5 kobo suggestions as to how to solve these problems. Thank you so much, Shegun. And of course, keep watching Rapid TV. All right. To wrap up today's edition of the show, as I said, time not our friend, but issues of national importance must be dealt with. Nigeria's economy heavily relies on oil and to a lesser extent gas for energy. However, the country has failed to maximize the benefits of oil wealth due to corruption, mismanagement, and of course, the overdependence on oil at the expense of other potential avenues of development. Now, the fuel price crisis that we currently are faced with, especially after subsidy is gone declaration by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, affects all aspects of our social economic fabric, from inflation and cost of living to government revenue, foreign exchange rates, reserves, and fiscal policy. Now, at the core of this challenge lies the question, and this is the question I want us to go home with and ponder over. How does Nigeria manage the volatility of global oil prices on one hand, considering they are dollar-based, while mitigating the adverse impact on the domestic economy? Well, addressing Nigeria's leadership deficit and corruption pandemic, especially the mismanagement within the oil sector, becomes a focal point in this line of thought as one ponders over this big question. Of course, if you have solutions to that question, don't forget, send it to our social media handles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, even on LinkedIn and TikTok. Let's put our heads together and see if we might be able to prefer a workable solution to this quagmire. Well, taking into consideration that leaders, whether politicians, academicians, or even journalists like myself, have often misused the term subsidy to serve their interests, globally, subsidies have been used as a policy tool in agriculture, in energy, and other sectors to cushion the price volatilities citizens are faced with. How come Nigeria's situation is different? The decision to subsidize depends on society's varied interest and power dynamics. Now, in 2022, global fuel subsidies amounted to about 7 trillion US dollars, or 7.1% of global gross domestic product GDP, and up by about 18.3% from the previous year, according to an IMF working paper published in August of 2024. China distributed the most with 22.2 trillion US dollars, followed by the United States with a sum of 757 billion US dollars. Russia, in its part, had 421 billion US dollars. India, 346 billion US dollars. And Japan had 310 billion US dollars. In Nigeria, my Egbon, as I like to call him, Femi Falana, SAN, argued that the real subsidies are not for the poor, but for the rich, and listed 22 examples where government actions and inactions amounted to subsidies benefiting the wealthy, while inflicting avoidable hardship on the poor. Now, according to Falana, globally, subsidies, whether for food, transportation, energy, or housing, are part of good governance. So, the issue is not subsidies, but who benefits from these subsidies. In Nigeria, subsidies are primarily for the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. Well, President Bola Tinubu, who harshly criticized President Goodluck Jonathan's 2012 plan to gradually remove fuel subsidy, ironically, did the same in 2023, despite failing to implement the reforms he previously advocated, including the need to address corruption and improve infrastructure to avoid unnecessary suffering of the Nigerian people. Well, away from the sentiments or rhetorics to the main issues, Nigeria imports most of its refined petroleum products, making it highly sensitive to changes in global and crude oil prices. The weakening of the naira against foreign currencies, particularly the US dollar, greenback as I called it, has increased import cost and fueled inflation. Now, corruption has exacerbated fuel price inflation. For instance, on turnaround maintenance, TAM, of Nigeria's 4 moribund refineries, billions of dollars have been spent without significant production increases. A 2023 report by Reuters shows that Nigeria spent more than 11.35 trillion naira, that's about 25 billion US dollars, on fixing 3 moribund refineries in the past 10 years. Corruption in fuel distribution, including over-invoicing and cross-border diversification, worsens the situation. The interplay between Dangote Refinery, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company PLC, NNPCL, and the government reflects broader tensions. While Dangote Refinery could reduce refined fuel importation, its impact on pricing and the government subsidy stand remains a critical and unresolved issue. The outcome may likely play a key role in shaping the dynamics in Nigeria's oil sector and, by extension, the standard of living of Nigerians. Well, my time is already up. We could dwell on this matter almost forever. But trust us, as always, to keep our ears to the ground and our searchlight beamed on development, especially in the wake of this recent hike in the pump price of petrol. I am Nkamiang John, the beloved, also known as the controversial, promising that, as always, we will keep you up to speed with developments as they evolve. We leave you with this video trying to make us understand how the price hike had evolved over time, and possibly the projections that at some point, as it has been predicted, that Nigerians may just buy petrol at almost 5,000 naira per litre at some point, if nothing is done. Until I come your way with another incisive edition of the show, it's bye for now.
Hello, it don't happen again. NNPC don't increase fuel price again in Abuja from 897 to 1,030 naira. Increment of 133 naira. October here, oh, they don't increase us. Everywhere just dey quiet. They say, this month. They never discuss about NNPC, more just increase am. Okay, oh. Remember, say, for September here, oh, they increase that from this amount to 615 to this amount. Oh. It be like saying that every month they want to increase am now, okay? I don't know. That was 282 increment. You can see the news for Vanguard. Go Vanguard, go read them up. It means that for November now, we don't know how much they carry and go. We need to wait till November. You know, say Xmas they come. December, where they go carry and go, we don't know. They carry us go, we don't know. Because the more when they increase this thing, what did they happen? Transportation they increase. As transportation they increase, food they increase. As food they increase, landlord go they increase their rent. As landlord they increase their rent, other items such as toothpaste, soap, all the other things you need for house, they go see they increase. Even school go increase their own. But one thing remain constant: income. Income remain constant. Salary. It means say the people no can get purchasing power. The purchasing power of the people is reduced. And also know, to put matter for matter, the one where I know tell on the last time they say banks now, CBN increase the interest rate. So when you increase interest rate, it means say people when they say that they do production, they borrow money to do things, they no can fit access that money again because the money becomes very expensive. And if they no fit borrow money from bank, with the Apple, they no fit expand again. If they no fit expand again, it means say they cannot create job. Even the one where they don't create finish, because they don't increase interest to even pay back the loan, it go dey difficult. It means say people now as this called expensive, and people no fit buy these things. They no fit even patronize them because people cannot patronize them because they don't get income to patronize them. They no fit pay back their loan. Even to pay back become difficult. Everything become very stagnated. But in all these things, you know who they make money, you no worry. Now be our commercial banks. According to Vanguard News last time, they said this our commercial bank, they are making plenty money. Now only then they enjoy now. Maybe them and NNPC and the oil sector, I don't know. But these banks, because normally as a teacher for school, they say for bank, I'm meant to give credit. Credit be waiting. Credit be loan where you collect from bank. If you collect and use that do production, after you finish doing production, you go cost food go plenty. But now we say the money dey difficult to borrow the money because you dey fear the interest. Because if you no fit sell, you no fit pay your money back. Everything hard. You need to also chop. You need to pay your staff because it's difficult now. People are afraid to come here. But this bank, they no worry because they get other source of income. Which other source of income? They get money from transfer charges. They get money from FS. That is a bureau de change. They do like aboki. Because of this leverage, they don't really care about this side like that. But on this side, they drive economy. Now they drive the country. This one now only then they benefit. It's just like you are doing like a market woman. If bank for country no fit give loan, no fit give credit, no be say they no want give because it's not too expensive. People cannot go to the bank to borrow money. It means say people no go fit they do many things expand. You know, I don't already mention the problem. It means that this bank now they are not worried. If this one was not there, or they reduce this one very well, they will now be forced to give loans. They will better come and collect loan, please come and collect. We go reduce them. They will even pressure CBN. Say CBN, you need to reduce the NPR. Yes, you need to reduce them so that people can collect loan and do production. It means say the way where this country they go so now only God will help us. Before we leave here, let us look at the way for they increase all this year, where I believe say this thing they carry us go where we don't know. If they carry us go where we don't know, what we see as for matter be all these years. Look at it now. When go one day, you know how much they sell for that time in 1973? Now just 8.45 kobo. Kobo na iron. You know I believe say you know Mutala in 1976 na 9 kobo. Obasanjo 1978 na 15.3 kobo. All this one where they put so now when they walk come out for power, no be when they enter, okay? When Shagari won't come out, this was the amount 20 kobo. When Babangida won't come out 1991 na 70 kobo. When Shonika, who only rule for 82 days for Nigeria won't come out, Now 5 naira, he call it, and now he actually carry and come for kobo. Put up on naira, okay? Then when Abacha won't come out, debt come out for there. In 1994, it was just 11 naira. When Abubakar, when come take over, 1999 won't come out, he leave her for 20 naira. Then Obasanjo come again. In 2004, when Obasanjo they come out, he take on job to 75 naira. Yaradua, when he comes, say no, my people are suffering. He reduced that to 65 naira. Only the president will reduce fuel price before he leave this world. Jonathan can't leave her for 87 naira before he come out. Then Buhari, nah, 145, that range. Now, our Baba is around Tinubu. This is 2024. In Abuja now, he don't eat 1030. See as I draw so, the thing it be like rocket. The thing they fly, they go. Another president will come. They go. I want us to predict maybe in 10 years' time how much you think fuel price will be. 10 years. Me, I think say it will be 10K or 10K per liter. Because I don't see anything where they drive the economy where they work. Because everything where people drive the economy to collect credit, manufacturing, even agriculture, people don't feel go farm still. They say ban the day, problem just there everywhere. Okay? So what do you think? Make you drop out for comment section.
My name is also.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Vista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Karigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
Greatness is not faceless. Greatness has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. Greatness is beyond what we do. It's how we do it. It is the people we do it for. It is never settling, continuously tinkering with an idea till answers to age-old questions emerge. It is our wittiness. It is our speed. It's our energy. It's our heavy punches. It is making melodies from anything. It is in the endless poetry of Nigerian life. Joyful, frustrating, sad, exciting. It's the mix of colors, imitating the breathtaking tapestry of life. It's our defiance of fear and our almost defiant, nearly arrogant presence in the galleries of the distinguished. It is these everyday people creating timeless, priceless art, carving spectacle, crafting history. It is resilience woven into the fabric that we are made of and we wear. Etu, Ashoke, Akwete, Kura. Greatness, the Nigerian spirit. That thing about us that all recognize and still cannot find the right words to describe. Great is Nigerian. Greatness is when Toby Amusho does the 100 meters hurdles in 12.12 seconds and a stunned world held its breath. Greatness is the chicken scratch guitar chords that bewitched the world. A new beat, Afrobeat, from Fela and now to Burna Boy, to Wizkid and Davido. It is the earthy Afro pop of Asha. It's the compelling, beguiling Nigerian R&B of Tiwa and Teni. and the alternative sounds of Thames, Johnny Drill, and Chike. Witness is how our phenomenal artists are selling out arenas both home and abroad, with tens of thousands of people showing up to experience the pulsations of this mysteriously sweet music. Witness is Kunle Afolayan, Jadesola Oshiberu, Kemi Adetiba, Nazo Nuzo, hitting mind-boggling box office numbers, securing global film deals, and rallying communities. Not so long ago, content was just television, and now digital content is the new oil, with our skit makers, content creators, thought leaders growing